The next Fallout experience is not a solitary journey through the wasteland, looting mailboxes and dumpster diving for those adhesives. This one is all about surviving with other people.
In fact, every person you're going to come across in Fallout 76 will be controlled by a real person. Here to explain it all is Pete Hines from Bethesda. Pete, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
We're doing great.
Pete, great to talk to you, man. I got to talk to you about the mic drop moment. Now, Fallout is going online. What does that mean? Todd talked about it last night, but can you give us some texture?
Here's the easiest way to think of it. It's like the Fallout games that you've played before,
right?
Except that you have the ability to play with other folks if you want to.
Okay.
You'll interact with other characters just like you normally would, except that they'll be people.
Okay.
So you might have gotten jumped by raiders before wandering through the wasteland, but those raiders would now be real people if real people want to do that. Or they might want to trade with you, or who knows. But it's all about creating that same kind of world with story and lore and quests and leveling up and all of that same stuff. It's still those same things that are core to Fallout, but now the people are real. And so it adds a little bit of tension and drama where the role-playing is more emergent. It's like the old school when we were growing up playing Dungeons and Dragons, right? A game's not about like, here's your dialogue for today for you to read off. It's about, I'm going to put you in situations and how are you going to handle it? And then how am I going to respond and how are you going to respond to that? It's more like that.
Which is something you can't, it's unscripted.
Yeah.
And anything. Now, does that mean, can I be a robot in the robot parade? My favorite part of Fallout 4 was the robot parade, by the way.
You're going to be a person,
Okay.
but it's all about you being who you want.
Right.
And so the whole idea of who are the heroes and villains, like that's going to come from how you choose to play the game. But you can still play Fallout like a Fallout game. I mean, it is online, but that doesn't mean you have to join up with other people.
Right.
You can play the way that you want in this world.
So I'm curious, and I know you kind of just touched on it in a sec, but talking about the contention between people, heroes versus villains. Actually, Todd had a quote in there talking about some people will be the heroes, some will be the villains. Does that mean I can truly just be evil throughout the entire thing if I so choose?
Yes, but not without consequences, obviously, and not to the extent we've spent a lot of time working on the systems that are going to determine how all of that works. Think of the PvP more as issuing a challenge. And then you as the player can decide what to do if you've been challenged. So it's not just non-stop like everybody kill everybody that you see. It's more like I see somebody and I can decide to be nice. I can welcome them. I can ask them if they want to join my party and do quests. I can ask them if they want to trade, or I can decide to take them out. But we'll talk about it a little bit more in detail. A lot of this stuff is still in progress, but it's not just straight up everybody murder everybody PvP. It is post-apocalyptic and everybody kind of figure out who do you want to be in this world.
Now, in Fallout, you know, we all have a love-hate relationship with the nuke.
Yeah.
Now, in this game, can I drop a nuke on my neighbors? And what happens to their loot, and how does that work? And
Sure. So yes, you can nuke an area. You can't target individuals. First of all, it's important to note.
Yeah.
The nukes are not just put two caps into a vending machine and out comes a nuke and everybody's just firing them off left and right. They're not easy to get to.
Right.
It takes a lot of work to get to them. It then takes a lot of work to get the codes and go to the place to launch them.
I see.
So it's not like you launch a nuke, like everybody's just shooting nukes all the time.
That's for some people, that's going to be their main quest.
Sure, but they're more epic moments, right, when they happen. And when they happen, you're really just targeting a part of the map that you want to target. And if somebody's there, yeah, they're going to get hit by the nuke. But Todd's point was important to note, which is this is a game where you are not getting punished by dying. That we don't want it for you to be losing progression or to be, just blowing away everything that you've done. So I think he'll be getting more into explaining how does all of that work, what does it mean. But the idea of you can build anywhere, but you can also then take it and move anywhere is an important part of that you're not literally deconstructing every building and reconstructing, that there's game systems that allow you to say, now I want all that stuff that I built to be in this part of the world instead. Yeah. But when the nukes go off, those are high level areas. So you're incented to do that because you're turning them into a high level area where there's, tougher creatures, but better loot and some of the more rare stuff you can get.
Right. So now, Fallout was obviously absolutely a huge announcement and something that you guys have been working on, but yesterday was jam-packed with more, too.
We had a lot, yeah.
I mean, take us through some of what was talked about.
Well, we announced DLC for Prey and a big new update that's out right now that
Great game.
includes a couple of new modes for free. It includes the new Moon Crash DLC, which is like a roguelike thing where you play through, and every time you play through, the levels and creatures and everything are going to be different. We announced Doom Eternal, a follow-up to Doom 2016, which we're going to be revealing at QuakeCon this year, both for folks who are there, as well as this time around we're going to stream it live around the world. So everybody, hopefully including you guys, can see what the guys are up with the new Doom. But bigger, badder, crazier, twice as many demons. That game is awesome already. We announced a new Wolfenstein game that's based on BJ's twin daughters, who Anya's pregnant with. Spoiler alert! In the new Colossus, we move forward in 18 years, where his daughters are grown up, and you get to play as one of his daughters, and you can play it solo, but you could also have a friend play the other daughter, and the two of you play together. We announced that we're bringing Elder Scrolls Legends to Xbox One. Man,
that was the best 2 minutes.
We announced the next two BGS titles after Fallout 76 and a brand new IP in Starfield, and then eventually we are going to get to TES 6. So,
and don't forget, Todd stood on stage and said, "Hey, Fallout 4 now in Game Pass."
Yes, and you can play it now for free as part of Game Pass. So, I mean, we had so much stuff. I don't even did I get everything?
I don't think we should have gone what you didn't announce, because that list would be way shorter,
way easier.
So,
yeah, we announced just about everything that we could possibly think of. And some of it, again, is coming this year, but we, in some cases, want to give a longer-term view of like where we as a publisher are going, what our studios are up to.
Yeah, right on, man.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.